Wow, what's good, YouTube? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Before we go any further in the video, like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. All right, in terms of the 135 division, 135 pound division, seems as if things are looking up. First, in terms of Devin Haney, he is going to get his undisputed bout that he's been garnering and trying to get. He's going to get that fight with George Kambosos. Instead of it being a 2-fight deal, as it was initially reported, from what I'm understanding, it's going to be a 1-fight deal, and whoever wins is winner take all. It's going to be in Australia. From what I'm understanding, ESPN is going to be on ESPN pay-per-view, probably ESPN Plus more than likely. All right, so it's going to be a 1-fight deal. The one thing that's concerning about that particular situation, when Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao fought in Australia, Manny Pacquiao clearly won that fight, even though at that point Manny was a little bit past his prime. Prime Manny would have stopped Jeff Horn, but at that stage in his career, he really wasn't able to do what he did a few years prior. And in that particular instance, he didn't stop Jeff Horn. As a result, he was robbed. There's no two ways about it. Teddy Atlas was real animated after the fight. And thereafter, not too far after that, he was no longer with ESPN. So if it goes to the scorecards, with Bob Arum being a part of it, ESPN, Lou DiBella, I'm betting that they're angling towards a fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. As a result, I think Devin Haney more than likely is going to probably have to stop George Kambosos for him to get the win. But even with that being said, I just want to see the fight. Whatever happens, happens. I'm picking Devin Haney. I think he's, in this particular instance, I think he's the clear-cut favorite. However, he can't look past George Kambosos the way Teofimo Lopez did. I don't think Teofimo Lopez took George Kambosos as seriously as he really should have, and as a result, George Kambosos won that fight. So Devin Haney is going to have to bring his A game if he could. He's going to have to get the stoppage. If not, there's a strong possibility he could get robbed on the scorecards. In addition to that, in terms of the 135-pound division, from what I'm understanding, Gervonta Tank Davis, his contract with Mayweather Promotions is up, and he's a free agent. So hopefully, with George Kambosos and Devin Haney fighting for undisputed 135-pound division, in addition to that, Gervonta Tank Davis being a free agent, hopefully we get some of these fights that we want in the 135-pound division, because to be honest, I'm not really liking the way Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe and Mayweather Promotions have been moving Tank Davis. To me, he hasn't really fought any real upper echelon competition in the 135-pound division. I mean, there's a lot of fights on the table that I think that I would favor him in, but he's not really seeming to go after those particular fights. He hasn't. He seems as if he's scared of Lomachenko, at least in the past. That what it seems. Maybe he wanted that fight, and maybe Mayweather Promotion really wasn't ready to throw him in there. However, that fight was a fight that was makeable. Of course, Ryan Garcia called him out and ducked him thereafter. So that was a fight that he wanted, but he could have easily fought Vasyl Lomachenko. He could have, him and Devin Haney could have fought at this point. So hopefully, with him being a promotional free agent, we'll get some of these fights we want in the 135-pound division. I mean, undisputed is going to take place, so that's a good thing. In addition to that, hopefully we'll get some of these other fighters in the mix, because from what I'm understanding, since there's going to be undisputed, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what sanctioning body it is. I think it's maybe WBO. Tank Davis is the mandatory for that particular title in the 135-pound division. So hopefully we'll see some of these fighters in the 135-pound division mix and match with Devin Haney, George Kambosos, Gervonta Tank Davis, Vasyl Lomachenko. Hopefully his situation over in the Ukraine, hopefully that's resolved sooner than later, and he comes out of that particular situation unscathed. So hopefully we get a resolution to that division, and all the best fighters can fight the best fighters. All right. In addition to that, from what I'm understanding, in the 147-pound division, the welterweight division, from what I'm understanding, I don't know how true it is, Terrence Bud Crawford signed a 2-fight deal with the PBC, and from what I'm understanding, the first fight is going to be against Keith Thurman, and once he gets by Keith Thurman, if Errol Spence Jr. is successful against Yordenis Ugas, then they have an undisputed bout. I'm not too pleased about that particular situation. To me, Keith Thurman at this stage in his career, he's an impediment. To me, if Yordenis Ugas and Errol Spence, when that fight happens, if Errol Spence is successful, I just like to see them go straight into undisputed. If you're gonna make a 2-fight deal with the PBC, it ought to be to fight Errol Spence Jr. and then for an immediate rematch. I don't want to see Keith Thurman in the picture. To me, he's holding up the division. When he was unified, he didn't make any of these fights. I mean, he had 2 titles in the 147-pound division. He could have easily fought Errol Spence Jr. However, he avoided him. He ducked him. So at this point, I don't think he's really deserving of a fight with Terrence Bud Crawford. And truthfully speaking, I think Terrence Bud Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. Beats Keith Thurman at this stage in his career easily. So why delay undisputed at the 147-pound division? To me, I think it should be just immediately go straight into undisputed. I can't stand the way the boxing game just milks all these fights. For example, when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought, I mean, that fight was 4 to 5 years past its expiration date. Had Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao fought maybe 4 years prior to that, it would have been an exceptional fight. I think the outcome and result would have still been the same, but even with that being said, I think it would have been a much more exciting fight. It would have been a better fight. Of course, with Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s defensive prowess, I mean, he still was going to do what he was going to do, but even with that being said, I think it could have been a little bit more explosive, more action-packed. It would have been a better fight had they fought closer to their actual primes, as opposed to the fight being like, 4 or 5 years past the expiration date. And I'm kind of fearing the same thing with the Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford situation. To me, this fight should have happened already, but the boxing game, it just does not give its fans what it wants when they want it. So that's why I'm kind of excited. But the George Kambosos, Devin Haney situation, hopefully that fight comes off like it's proposed and planned. From what I'm understanding, both fighters have signed for this fight. But in terms of the welterweight division, undisputed, Keith Thurman is just an impediment in my estimation. We should go right into undisputed as opposed to Keith Thurman being in the way. And I understand that PBC has invested a lot of time, energy, and effort into Keith Thurman, but at the same token, Keith Thurman has wasted a lot of time in this division in terms of just holding the division up. Had he just gave up his titles initially once he was hurt, or had he just not avoided and ducked and dodged Errol Spence Jr., more than likely we might have an undisputed champion in the welterweight division already. So that's my take on the entire situation. If Bud Crawford did sign, is going to sign a 2-fight deal with the PBC, it should be to go straight into undisputed with Errol Spence Jr. as opposed to fighting Keith Thurman, then going into undisputed with the winner of the Errol Spence Jr. Yordenis Ugas situation. Situation fight. But in terms of Devin Haney in the 135-pound division, it's looking up with Devin Haney and George Kambosos fighting, and Gervonta Tank Davis becoming a promotional free agent, at least from what I'm understanding. All right, so like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. This is Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out again to the amazing LDBC. Catch y'all on a rebound. Have a blessed and phenomenal day. Peace.